up, America? Brian Hollyhan's here, about 30,000 feet up. We are on the way to Arkansas. So everybody in line at the University of Arkansas to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. We are coming to you right here, right now. Stay in line. We have gotten a third room because we have sold out this campus stop 3 times. But we are coming to you. We will fit you in. Students will get priority, or we will make it happen. I cannot be more excited. We are back. We are on the road. We're coming to you one conversation at a time. If you're not at the University of Arkansas, we're coming to a campus near you soon, so check out my tour dates. We'll see you super soon. That President Trump's back in the Oval Office. It's amazing that Republicans have control of Congress. It is. You see, those are short-term fixes on a long-term cultural problem, though. It's wonderful that Gen Z shifted the pendulum to the right in this cycle. How do we keep Gen Z behind the GOP going forward? For this to be a generational shift and not a one-time change. There was frustration that prompted my generation to get behind President Trump. How do we turn that frustration into achievements? Well, that's what the president's done for the past 9 months.
Just dripping with charisma. It's unbelievable to see such charisma instantly. This, to me, why it's so amazing is that you would think there'd be a little bit of grace between Charlie Kirk, arguably one of the best debaters, I mean, I've ever probably seen. I haven't seen a lot of debaters. I've seen most of them. You know, I would like to see, actually, I would have liked to see him and Andrew Wilson go at it. They seem to be both black belts in debating. But you'd think there'd be a little bit of grace between Charlie Kirk dying and then just zoink, replacing him with this completely nerd bomb, uncharismatic. You know, we'll see. You just, the thing is, you just can't replace Charlie Kirk. He's one of one. You can just tell his whole. What surprised me about that is how everyone in that team, whatever that team is, just thought, okay, now get this Holly Hand guy, this big nerd bomb, get him out there. And they all looked at each other, and no one said, "You think it's too soon?" I mean, it's only been a week, and they all went, "No, I think it's a great time to introduce the new Charlie Kirk." And so there's a bunch of things. You know, I like to let things rest and simmer down before I get too passionate about it, because when I get passionate about things, I think that I've been brainwashed. My knee jerk is, they got me, right? But I was in the steam room yesterday having a steam, and someone brought up Charlie Kirk. And they didn't know anything about Charlie Kirk. They'd never really watched. They hadn't done the 1,000 hours of watching Charlie Kirk like I have. And they asked me, why do you think everything's a conspiracy? That's a fair question, because I do think everything's a conspiracy. There's not too many things that I don't think are conspiracies. You know, after all, just a couple people getting together to discuss something is, you know, the definition of a conspiracy, really. But I kind of tried to channel my inner Charlie Kirk, and I'm like, well, there's, you know, as a dad, if something were to happen to my son, the last thing I would do is just get let's say he was a big name, you know, and the FBI was involved. To me, the FBI is like some sort of 70s numbskull private detective, you know, with a big mustache and a long jacket who can't solve a crime. That's what the FBI is. As soon as the FBI's on it, a big thing, you kind of know it's, you know, this is the weird Band-Aid that'll never heal. But there's the official government narrative on something I would never accept. Like, it would be, you know, when you see most parents, when something happens to their children, they've just become like, their mission is to find out the truth and battle everything and get to the bottom of everything. And the fact that there isn't really, everyone's like, no, this is it, and that's it. You know, it was a lone shooter, and he went off the some building and escaped. Well, we got him, so it's okay. If it was me, like I'm thinking about Charlie Kirk's wife and his best friends and everyone that worked at that thing. They're all like, okay, yeah, okay, seems legit. I would be an insane person, right? Every last cent I had. Yeah, Peter Sellers has the FI. That's what I was picturing in my head. Every last dime would be uncovering this thing. Private detectives, you know, I'd have my own security force out there, you know, doing some investigation. But the problem is the conversation in the steam room I had, like, I go, doesn't these things seem a little weird? Because every time I see a crime take place, especially when it's a shooting and a public shooting, it's taped off. It's locked down. You can't roam around the place. And then we see all these videos of it. It was almost like, it seemed like it was a lunch break on the at the university. People just wandering around, a couple people stealing hats. And I know this is right after it, so they maybe hadn't locked it down. But then I never saw any pictures of like yellow tape or anything, like to say this is a crime scene. And then when I see like people roaming around, Johnny December, good morning, fam. Much love, many thanks for all you do. Thank you for 25 months. Holy smokes, 2 years we've been at this racket, hey, Johnny December. And then don't you find it weird that they completely demolished the crime scene and cemented it over? That's just the weird. Like, especially if it was me, if I was the dad, I'd be like, hello? Yeah. You're what? You're cementing over the crime? Well, hold on. I haven't done my due diligence here. And boom. And I'd be out there protesting, you know, the one-man protest. No, please don't cement over the crime scene. You know, I'd still like to know, like, what was that door? Right? What was the trap door there? Like, can someone just tell me what the trap door was before I lose my goddamn mind? And then the one thing that got my spidey senses tingling the most, and I should have had the video up, but it's the one with Eric, with his wife at the dead body. You know, like, I mean, we're assuming it's the dead body, but it was like her kissing his hands, and she had those weird rings, the Super Bowl / Freemason rings, you know, just in perfect sight. Now, what's my spidey singles tingled because in production, you know, like, it takes a certain amount of production to, you know, pull off 4 years of YouTube. So I understand, you know, what goes into making a video. And when you see, like, so you have to understand there's either someone beside her really close, you know, with a phone or an iPhone or whatever, getting the shot, and she's okay with that. So so someone had to coordinate, like, do you mind if I video this? And she's like, yeah, of course. And then she did this weird thing, you know, kissing, you know, the like, that's what the videos we see is that, like, him in an open casket with it was weird. And then if it wasn't, like, obviously it wasn't her, like, with the video. So it was a videographer of sorts that was coordinated to shoot that video. And then they all looked at it. Maybe, you know, maybe it was just her. Well, I don't know where it came out of. Did it come out of TP USA? And they all looked at it and were like, yeah, that's a good video to put out. We should put it right away, like, while the iron's hot. And then that kind of put the brakes on. These are red flags that I can't get over, right? Because I'm a nutcase. When I see these things, I'm like, this is weird, right? This is a very weird thing to do. I know as a dad, You wouldn't catch me doing that, with my videographer. Hey, Johnny, yeah, get a shot nice and tight here. Make sure you get my rings in there. Yeah, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna kiss their hands. I love you. In the end, and then we'll cut. Right? You wouldn't see me doing that. You wouldn't see most normal people doing that. They would just be like, and if we go down the Erica Kirk wormhole, she should be like any other crazy dad. Like, hey, don't cement over my husband's crime scene. Don't redo the tunnel. I'm not done yet. We're not done yet. This thing hasn't even really surfaced, and then like all the videos we see now, I know there's a lot of intentional weird videos out there to throw everyone all the Hansel and Gretel crumbs so we never get back to the oven. Everyone's just kind of searching on weird things. And I think the main red flag is the narrative, right, of this guy on the roof. Even though you see like the video where he's running, and I said this before, how like show us the 4K. Show us the 4K video. It would just dispel everything. You could end all this insanity if you just showed us the video. My hands are getting, you got to see me talking with my hands. There we go. It would dispel everything. Everyone would it would put it to bed, and then everyone would be fine. Right. But as long as we just see like basically 1990s B-roll from Reality Bites. Remember that movie where they would always cut the B-rolls, like all grainy VHS? It's like, guys, we're not in the 90s. We're not in the 90s. All these cameras are 4K. 1 second. Hey. Duke just blurring his TV there. It's 4K. There's 4K everywhere. There's even the 4K that was close, not to mention the hundreds of 4K phones that were there. So the fact that we haven't seen this video, it leads us to the jump to conclusion mats from Office Space, right? Just show us the video and we're good. At least we can dispel a bunch of things, but it's just that the little trap door is open and they're just sweeping everything into it, shut it, cement over it, and then do the tunnel. They redid the tunnel too. Now you see a lot of videos out there with ballistics guys, and everyone takes heat for these videos, which is weird. Even the video that I put out about the hologram thing, the heat in the comment sections on that is weird. Because there's a man who died, and there should be justice for him, and whatever way it's found, I don't care. If it hurts people's feelings while they get to the truth, well, sometimes the truth hurts, I suppose. But it can't be looked over, especially when it's one of the most important voices of a generation, really. And then you go, when I was watching the marathon there, the memorial, Spidey senses tingled a lot on that one, because it didn't really look like what normal people would say is a, memorial. It went from like this memorial kind of going like this, and then a rally, and then back to memorial, then a rally, then back to memorial. And it gave me that the production vibes, like not to mention the fireworks and everything. But when Erica Kirk walked out, I thought there was like, when she walked out, it was so theatrical. And then as she got to the podium, the swelling of the orchestrated music behind her, to when she it all came to this head, and she like let out this gasp as the music like hit its climax. It was just too weird. Now, as a Bitcoiner, You know, we have a heightened sense of what's wrong. We can see red flags probably faster than most. You know, one of the reasons we are in Bitcoin is because of all the red flags with the system and the money system and the broken money system. And so I just can't help it. When I see people just kind of going to bed with it and letting it go, I'm like, well, I guess we're cooked. I guess we're cooked. If the vast majority of people see that, hear the narrative, say case closed, I don't know. I don't think there's we're not gonna see it. We won't see the justice for Charlie Kirk, I suppose. Well, I mean, my dark theory is that this kid will be Epsteined, and then they'll be like, okay, now case closed. Can we? He killed himself. Can we close the case now? No. But they're a little bit out of options, right? They've done the playbook for so long that they probably are like, can we kill him again? Can we, suicide him? Can we have him Clintoned? They're like, I think we might have used that card a bit too much. People are kind of onto us. But go for it. And they'll do it, and then everyone will be like, no, I see he's been deeply troubled, I suppose. And, and he did do that. So he can't be in a normal mental state of mind. I go back to, then you go into the CIA. I don't know how deep everyone is on this, but if you go deep on it, it leads to this, like all the professors are CIA agents. And I know there's a lot of disinformation out there, right? Just to throw people off the clues. But a lot of those pages have been, if you were deep into it, like I was every day after, you saw a bunch of things that are taken away now, right? Like the pages of the professors who direct links to CIA. They worked as CIA agents, and they're professors. Those are gone. That's super weird. If one of the professors was a CIA agent or asset, right? Because there's difference. Like so the agent is actually employed by CIA. The asset is someone that they've kind of convinced to work for them. Who knows how they do that, right? But but let's just say they're assets, not agents. But they were agents. They actually said it on the agent. If there was one, it would be super weird. But there was like four. Like, how can four professors at one university be all CIA agents too? It's you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I guess I am. Well, I would say four people working at the CIA and being professors all at the same school where this takes place is a little bit of a conspiracy. It's worthy of looking into, not just cementing over the crime scene and getting on with your life. But I don't know. It's not going to bode well for TPUSA. If they had a little bit of grace, this is where I come back to the benevolence of power, right? The people that are running it now don't understand the true power that Charlie Kirk had and possessed. Right? It was like he ran that show. You could tell he was like the driver of that ship, and everyone else was just coattailing him because he was so immensely powerful. When you have a leader like that, such a smart person in charge of everything, everyone's coattailing. Yeah, there's some people that are doing administrative, like his buddies and everything, but no one had the power of Charlie Kirk, and you can see that now when they try to just move on. No one. They're like the fact that the hubris of putting that nerd in this on this side of his face, that big nerd, like everyone's going to be like, yeah, okay, this is the new one. Oh yeah, great, yeah. He seems just like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, one of one. You'll never replace him. The fact that they tried to replace him just shows that they've never been in a position of power, either intellectually or maybe economically. They have some money to push around. But there's a huge moat between financial success and being smart or an emotional IQ. There's a massive moat there. I see people all the time who are very wealthy and they're so stupid. Right? It makes you wonder, like, how do you succeed despite your own stupid self? I guess you just keep throwing cash at it, right? So these people will learn that there's an authenticity to Charlie Kirk that you can't even reproduce, not on his intellect, and his work ethic and everything that went along with Charlie Kirk. Almost everything Charlie Kirk did was hard to replace and reproduce, but they're trying and they're going to fail. And I think it'll be a stain on TP USA. And then you got to think, well, maybe this is, the soft sunset of TP USA, where they don't kibosh it. They just let it kind of dissolve into obscurity. And so there is no real conspiracy to destroy TP USA. It just kind of faltered. They made some mistakes, some missteps along the way, and then it kind of just fell apart. Maybe that's the end game. The end always reveals the truth with all these things. So, I mean, we almost live in a world where we never get the truth. We're still 25 years from 9/11. We're still kicking at the dirt on this one. 25 years later, like, who the hell's texting me right now? 8:23. But speaking of the truth, oh yeah, all right, this is the Bitcoin channel. Guess what? That's right. We hit all-time high.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share the